Welcome back. So today we have something a little bit different. Yesterday they started a brand new event in Isonzo. If you don't know what Isonzo is, it's one of the cooler World War I games out there. It comes from a series. Initially they made a game called Verdun, which you kind of get the idea of where that might take place. Then they made a second one called Tannenberg, and this is the third installment called Isonzo. And Isonzo focuses primarily on the conflicts between Italy and Austria, although there are Germans there as well because, the Germans came down and intervened. And so a lot of the fighting is on pretty rugged terrain, even in the normal game. And it's really cool. But right now they're running an event on there, and if you're at all interested in the game, I highly recommend picking it up and playing it. This event, though, focuses primarily on the Mountaineers, and where normally you might fight up and down hills, or you might fight in little towns, or, wherever, right? In this case, you're scaling the face of a mountain. Basically, you have the Italians at the bottom, and you have the Austrians at the top. And the goal of the Italians is to climb up this sheer cliff and seize the top of this mountain. So in order to do that, you have a series of pathways that you can take. You can effectively climb anywhere on this mountain face, but there are checkpoints partway up. So just normally, naturally in this game, there are spawn points that you can erect, and most of those spawn locations can be flipped from one side to the other, but you have to destroy them, and there's usually a little bit of a cooldown before you can rebuild them. So basically the Austrians start controlling this mountain face, and so you've got these little pockets, like caves, ledges, whatever, throughout the side of this mountain where there are Austrians perched up there, and they're all shooting down at you. Now everybody has single-shot rifles. This is World War I, so there's an interesting assortment of weapons that are available. Normally, you'd probably have a bolt-action rifle. Some classes can get pistols. Some classes can get light machine guns, like the Madsen, for example. But in this game mode, you're strictly Mountaineers. Your kit includes the normal Mountaineer kit, but you're limited on your primary to the single-shot rifles. I don't know exactly what the term is for the action on the Austrian rifle, because it's not really a bolt action. It's more like a breech that moves. But the Italian one is basically a single-shot bolt action rifle with a mammoth of a bullet. They're both older weapons, though. They're not exactly like the newest, most front-running equipment that either side could give you. But in addition to that, they get access to their binoculars. I'm pretty sure you can still swap the flare gun on, but I didn't have anything unlocked for my Mountaineers when I started to play through this. I've primarily played the Assault class in the past. Although now I've got a bunch of stuff unlocked for my Mountaineers. So I'll probably have to dive back into the event and see what else I can put on there. There's a perk that they can take that I unlocked later on that allows you to climb faster, and I bet that would be extremely useful here, because climbing the mountain isn't particularly slow, but it's also not fast either. And the thing is, you don't just have a bunch of Austrians standing at the top of this mountain shooting down at you. You have Austrians that are going to be perched all across it, so they might shoot down at you, they might shoot down at angles, but on top of that, they also have piles of rocks, and they can just roll these rocks off the top of the cliff and come down and squish people. Which, playing it from both sides, having the rocks fly by you because they suppress you is honestly kind of spooky. But using them from the top, they don't feel very reliable, but they are kind of fun to use, especially when you actually get a kill with them, because you're just tossing rock after rock off this cliff, and all of a sudden it'll pop up and be like, oh look, I killed somebody. Fantastic. But as the Italians, while you're climbing, you can put pinions into the mountain, so it'll kind of like create a path, and I'm pretty sure that if you follow that path, it speeds up your climbing. At least that's what it felt like to me. So, ideally, if you're the first one going up, or you're first in line because the guy in front of you got shot or got a rock dropped on his noggin, then every so often you probably should be hammering these pinions in, just to make it so the rest of your team can also get up where you're climbing. And then once you reach one of these, like, checkpoint areas, then if you kill the Austrians that are there, if you destroy their spawn point, you can build your own spawn point, and that effectively advances the front for you. So, where normally when you're playing a game, your front advances like horizontally, like you take ground, literally. In this case, it advances vertically, and you're taking parts of this cliff. And I know that that isn't like a radical change or radical shift from the kind of gameplay that you might expect in any other game mode in this game, or in any other game, period, in this genre. But it's cool to see it employed like this, because it's pretty rare for a game to have this kind of vertical game mode. And I thought it was really cool. Admittedly, I would like to see this added into the base game. Just have parts of maps where it's necessary to climb, or there's alternative attack routes that allow you to climb. I think that would make for an interesting use of the Mountaineers. But all in all, I think it's a cool event. It, I think, has a slightly lower player cap than the other game modes, which is fine. I also think that the boundaries are a little bit scuffed, but that might not actually be a bad thing. I haven't really made up my mind. Like, it would be nice to be able to climb, like, left or right, and it would be nice as the Austrians if you could also fight down the mountain and try to reclaim some of these points. It is good, though, that as the Italians, you don't have to climb from the bottom of the mountain all the way to the top. If you had to do it in like one go, like every time you died you started at the bottom of the mountain, it would honestly be so hard. It would be so hard. But likewise, if as the Austrians you also had to spawn at the top of the mountain and like rappel down, it might not actually be so bad. That would be kind of cool. Although I guess a game mode like that is probably getting more into the territory of something like Hell Let Loose, where you don't take spawn points, and instead you just take territory and hold territory with spawn points. But in a vertical game mode like this, that could actually be really cool. Make it more of like a contested area. Because like right now, it's very attack and defense oriented. There's not really any like counter-attacking. And I don't know. I feel like it would be really interesting to both fight up the mountain and down the mountain at the same time. I also I don't know. I don't remember if the Austrians can actually climb. They probably can. I just never tried to do it as them. But I feel like if they can't, they need to be able to, because a lot of the little perches that they're on are really isolated. And so because of how wide the cliff face is, if, say, you're on the left side of the cliff face and they climb up the right side, they can bypass you, and that actually happened in one of our games. I thought that we were holding fairly well, and it turned out that they snaked up the left side, If you're on the spawn screen, the left side, I guess if you're looking down the mountain, they're on the right side. And because of that, they ended up bypassing most of the perches that we run, and I ended up like throwing myself off the mountain to get up to the top. Because once they got to the top, there's like a little encampment up there that you need to take, and they were able to take that extremely quickly. And I think most of why they took it so quickly is because a lot of our troops were still stuck on the side of the mountain. Imagine, unironically, getting encircled on a mountain, like vertically enveloped. It is a cool game mode, though. Definitely worth checking out if you have Isonzo. If you don't have Isonzo, I definitely recommend picking up Isonzo. It's a really fun game. If you're so inclined, wait for it to be on sale. It does happen from time to time. But this is a limited time event for now. I really hope, though, that they include aspects of it into the base game. I'd like to see more maps for it, but to be honest, I think the right implementation for it isn't necessarily to have an entire dedicated game mode built around it. I think the right way to implement it is to take the climbing aspect of it and put it onto other maps that aren't only, like, climbing Alpini maps. Basically make it, like I said earlier, make it like an alternate route to get to objectives. But we'll see. We'll see what the future holds. I'll leave you with the rest of the footage, and as per usual, get out there, kick ass, take names, and win your games.
¡Sto ricaricando! ¡Guardatevi le spalle! Nachladen! Bitte auf Deckung! C'è vergogna nella sconfitta, ragazzi. Jetzt geht's los, keine Gnade! Nachladen, in Verdeckung! Männer, der Feind ist da! Nachladen, in Verdeckung! Feind gesichtet! Nachladen! Nachladen! Bitte auf Deckung! Nachladen! Jetzt Verdeckung! Männer, der Feind ist da! Nachladen! In Verdeckung! Deckungsfeuer! Da drüben! Feindliche Truppen! Männer, der Feind ist da! Nachladen! Feindliche Truppen! Nachladen! Bitte auf Deckung! Nachladen! Bitte auf Deckung! Nachladen! Bitte auf Deckung! Da drüben! Feindliche Truppen! Feind gesegnet! Nachladen! Bitte auf Deckung! Feindkontakt! Da drüben! Feindliche Truppen! Vorwärts, Männer! Feindkontakt! Nachladen! Bitte auf Deckung! Nachladen! Männer, der Feind ist da! Männer, der Feind ist da! Sargenti addosso! Ora! Ricarico! Nachladen! Hilfsverdeckung! Angriff! Nachladen! Bitte auf Deckung! Nachladen! Bitte auf Deckung! Deckungsfeuer! Nachladen! Hilfsverdeckung! Immer! Nachladen! Feind gesichtet! Lade nach! Deckungsfeuer! Lade nach! Deckungsfeuer! Einer weniger! Harzes! Nachladen! Hilfsverdeckung! Vorwärts, Männer! Angriff! State caricando, ragazzi! Sto ricaricando! Nachladen! Hilfsbereit! Der Kamerad ist voll! Die Hoffnung stirbt zuletzt!